I am Heidi Benjaminson, your host of Confidence Coaching, a podcast for mothers of teenagers who want to feel less worry and more hope. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Hello. Welcome to episode 121, Loving Difficult People. Thanks for always being here. Thank you for the private notes and emails and sharing the episodes that are helping you. Recently, a close friend shared with me a tender revelation she had about how to separate her lane and her daughter's lane and the immense peace it gave her to release what wasn't hers to control anyway. Okay, this episode will be released in February, the month where there are hearts everywhere, Valentine's Day. It's also my wedding anniversary. It's the month of love. I was just reading Dr. Brené Brown's latest book, Atlas of the Heart, and she says, scientists aren't sure, is love an emotion or an action? And I think it's both. Love is felt and love is done. This includes love for ourselves and others. I want to talk today specifically about loving difficult people. Now, we all have someone in our life. It could be a child of ours, someone in our family, someone we think is a difficult person. So even though we're going to be talking about these other people as if they're, quote, difficult, which is how we default to thinking about them, I want to start by saying, actually, there aren't difficult people. These people are just humans, exactly like us, who want love and connection. This is what every single human at their core is seeking. It's just that we find it hard at times to love people or find the good in people who are different from us or trigger insecurities. We may find it hard to forgive or love those who have hurt us. And loving doesn't mean even being around someone. Love includes boundaries, which I'll talk about a little later. So even though I'm going to keep saying difficult people, they are just humans walking through life with difficult challenges and different ways of just being people. We get to choose how we react to them. Now, I'm going to go through a bunch of love facts about difficult people, and I have several stories to go with them. Okay, our first love fact, guess what? We've all been that difficult person. I can remember a year in college when I think I was difficult. I was struggling to be happy. Ask my husband or siblings. I've been difficult. It's good for us all to remember that there are times that we are the sour apple. Okay, second love fact. Whatever we choose to feel about other people is felt by us, not by them. They may see the kind actions that follow, but the gift of love actually benefits us. When we choose hate or resentment, it hurts us and no one else. Recently, a friend asked me how I was handling a pretty disappointing and hurtful way another person was treating me. And I shared all the ways that I'm giving grace and totally understand what they're doing. And my friend said, wow, you are being incredibly generous in this story about this person. And I said, well, what's the alternative? The story is felt by me, not by anyone else. So I'm going to choose the most generous one, because I want to be generous to my heart. I'm in several Facebook groups for mothers of teenagers, and every day someone posts about how terribly they are being treated by their teens and how they want to scream and yell at them. And it seems that many do. And how full of anger maybe the mother is that's posting. And everyone is very sympathetic. Here's the thing though. Many posts seem to reveal that the mother feels obligated and responsible not to respond to the teen with love, as if the mother's anger, poor responses, and hatred are justified. And I have no judgment on them. We're all doing hard jobs. I think it's important to pause, though, and remind ourselves choosing love and grace and empathy helps us. We're the ones who feel it, not the wayward or struggling child. If someone else is angry and hateful towards us, don't let that be the yardstick of how you want to feel in return. Our emotions are not in the hands of anyone else. And heavens, we don't want hormonal teens in charge of our emotions. We can get to breaking points, and that is when we take our own timeouts, which often reflects love for ourselves and love for others. Just don't feel obligated to mirror back to someone their own emotions. Okay, third love fact. Other people treat us not the way they see us, but the way they see themselves. Years ago, my husband and I, we were the targets of some unkind comments, and we were hurt. And it took days to process, and I really coached myself hard on what was going on. The piece that I still hang on to today is someone's kindness or unkindness is a reflection of them. It isn't a reflection of me. Someone who struggles to love themselves will then struggle to love others. They'll look to be defensive or offended because their internal wells of love are empty. I get to then decide, can I respond with love for me and them? Even if someone else doesn't have the capacity to love, what about me? I'm proud to say that I didn't hurt back, even though I wanted to for a hot second or days. Someone else's difficultness reflects their own inner battles to like themselves. Yes, boundaries are good and necessary. And remembering, I don't want the burden of walking around life not liking myself. I want to choose to be someone who can lighten that burden if I can. Okay, fourth love fact. Our ability to love difficult people or love people who can't return the love is a reflection of our capacity to love. It says nothing about this other person. Several years ago, I found myself complaining to a close friend about someone that we found ourselves regularly helping. And I was complaining about how this person asks and never says thank you, doesn't even seem to appreciate the extra lengths we go to accommodate her. It seemed to have gone on for years, and I was at this boiling over point. I remember I was standing in the school parking lot, and in my pretty ugly energy of complaining, I had this thought pierce my head and heart, which said, if you can't love her and do these things generously, that's on you. That reflects a lack of capability on your part, not hers. That feeling and thought stuck and is still there. Yes, a thank you is nice, but am I doing nice things because I want the thank you? Is it possible this person doesn't have the capacity to see the service and say thank you? Ever since this situation, I remind myself I choose love and act from love because it's who I want to be. A thank you is nice, but not necessary. I need to focus on my actions, not the actions of others. This keeps me anchored in love. I give gifts not to have one given in return. I give because I want to, because it reflects something I want to share with someone else, period. I once read a quote that said, love and charity don't keep score. That simple phrase has stayed with me. Real love and connection don't keep tally. Okay, fifth love fact for the difficult people in life. Love is easier to get to when we realize everyone, yes, everyone, no one is exempt from this. Everyone is carrying an invisible and heavy bag of rocks. I'm quick to move from irritation to grace when I remember even the difficult people of the world are doing their best. In fact, I think the deepest wounds are unseen. And often people don't share those wounds with even those closest to them. If someone is chronically difficult, this is the result of pain, discomfort, hurt, being scared. We don't need to put ourselves in a position to be hurt. We don't need to be around these people. We can, though, choose to speak generously of them behind their back. This is when getting curious is always going to help us. What stress is this person under? Is it possible this is the time this person needs my love more than ever? I often remember kids who are bullies and adults who are bullies too are hurting. Picking on someone numbs them for a few minutes of the deep pains within them. Maybe they've never even been shown love or had a friend. Okay, sixth love fact. We're all different. And different doesn't have to be bad or difficult. I learned an amazing lesson decades ago from another woman on a committee I was serving on. For several years, we had worked with another woman that I had quietly thought was difficult. I didn't have a ton of respect for her, and I found myself always picking up her slack. But to my credit, I never spoke ill about her. There came a situation where the committee chair called me to ask about a position for this woman who I thought was difficult. The chair was being very kind, and she was dancing around these questions to really probe if I'd be okay with this woman in this position. And she could tell I probably had some opinions, but I was holding them in. Then she said something very simple and very kind. She said, "Well, I know this woman has her own style. It's a different style." This opened the door for me to share a frank opinion with her about what I thought this person would do or not do in the role. I've never forgotten this new way to look at difficult people. They just have a different style. It's not better or worse than my style. I love this generous way to look at people who react to the world or walk through the world different than I do. They have a different style. This keeps that other person just very neutral for my brain, which feels better for me. And I show up and treat these other people in a way that feels better to me. Okay, I think we're on our 7th love fact. We love people to the extent that we love ourselves, even the difficult people. In fact, especially them. The more grace we have for our weaknesses, for our flaws, the easier it is to see others from different perspectives. When I can forgive myself for my angry or insensitive words, I'm quicker to forgive others. I may not choose to be around those people, but I don't plant and water the seeds of hurt within me. All right, 8th love fact. Boundaries can often make it easier to love difficult people. I know I need to excuse myself from a situation when I reach the point that I will start showing up as a person or as someone that just isn't my best self. Boundaries are not just physical, but also in conversations. Recently, I was in a hair salon, and after about 25 minutes of a conversation that was requiring every single ounce of restraint and grace on my part, I frankly asked the person to change the subject. I said, "I've hit my emotional limit." And I was thinking, I really like you. And if we keep going, I'm going to like you a whole lot less by the end of this. And I don't want to do that. I want to like you. Now, to their credit, we changed the subject right away with no issue. Don't go on a week vacation with someone you don't want to spend a week with. If you want to keep up the connection, suggest an activity that is the amount of time you know you can stay in control of how you feel and act. When Facebook became popular, well over 10 years ago, I remember finding the function where you can be friends with someone, but unfollow them and their comments won't appear in your feed. I remember seeing things that were triggering really unkind and ungenerous thoughts for me. And I consciously thought, I want to like this person. I don't want to think about their open foot sores or their 24 cats when I see them next. I created this boundary so I could like people more. Okay, lastly, I think this is our 9th love fact. Love isn't a one-time event or emotion. Love is created. I love the quote that the best exercise is bending over and lifting someone up. I think that's what love is. It's focusing on our actions. And I don't think we need to love everyone. Ideally, we do, but love requires us thinking about them. If you need your space to disengage, to not think about someone, take the time to do that. Then when you want to like and or love someone who seems difficult, use these tools and these love facts to set yourself up for success. Do it because it feels good to you, because it's who you want to be. When I find myself enjoying someone who others find difficult, I tell myself, yay, you found the capacity to love this person. That being said, I also struggle with those feelings for people that others find easy to love. So we all have our individual work to do on this. That's it for this week. If you would like personalized weekly private one-on-one coaching to feel more love and less stress and worry, sign up for a consult call at HeidiBenjaminson.com. A confident mother is the greatest gift to her family, not a perfect mother. Our families want us to feel confident, anchored, and calm. I can help you uncover this version of yourself. Have a great week.